Okay.
Yeah, YouTube's telling me that we're live.
So Facebook's is live, but it still has a black screen at the minute.
Really?
That's weird because it worked before.
Yeah. Okay, now I think we're live, and I think it's got us there now.
Okay. Let me go back.
Black screen at the minute.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, so that was us beforehand.
Yep.
Okay.
That's okay. So we're lagging
We
a
are
little
live
bit, but
now.
we're live. Yes, we are live.
Okay.
Hi, Carly.
Hey, Jimmy. We're back.
Hey. Yes, we are. We are. So we're currently live across multiple platforms, except for Instagram, which is the one that we originally started on. But that's because I'm still trying to work out some things with how to get it to go live through the platform that we're using, the Restream platform. If any of you guys have any idea about how to do that, let us know. Get in touch and show me what I'm doing because Jimmy Wah is an amateur. But yeah, so how's things been?
Yeah, good man.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we last talked.
Yeah, just working and getting ready to we go to the studio on the 12th, so just trying to finalize my 2 new songs that we're recording.
Oh,
And
awesome.
yeah, just been at AMR. Were there last night, and last week was cool as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we got some cool stuff happening there. And yeah, I've just been checking out some new videos actually that came out from bands that we've been following anyway. So I sent those to you just before.
Yeah, yeah. You were that's the Fangs video, and who was the other one?
Ocean Sleeper. So we've got those guys featured that track actually on this week's episode in AMR, but I wanted to see the video for it, so I just thought I'd go and check that out, and it's a great song.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. It's weird. I get a bit confused. We've got lots of oceans happening at the moment in Australia. There's Ocean Sleeper, Ocean Grove, The Ocean. Then, of course, there's bands like Ocean Sides from back in the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, that's very cool. I've recently did an interview with Clint Bogue from the Butterfly Effect. I think it was last Thursday, and sort of set that up as like a podcast type thing. And we'll try and just make that one clean take all the way through. And I'm going to release that next year, at the start of January.
Yeah.
And try and make, podcasts on Sense Music Media into a regular thing. So, whether it's me or whether it's Tom or whether it's Rod or, any one of our journalists doing interviews with, prominent artists.
Yeah.
We'll feature them on YouTube, on Sense Music Media, as a podcast, and I might look at getting it up on Spotify as well. And then I thought that could kind of go hand in hand with what we're doing with Talk Some Sense Live. So
yeah, that would be
we've
really
got
cool.
Talk Some Sense Live, which would be every second Wednesday, and then every alternate Wednesday we'll try and release a podcast as well. So keep some regular content coming up with Sense Music Media, and get people interested. And I'm trying to think of what angle we can go for that's sort of sets us apart from the rest. I mean, I think we've already got what we're doing with Talk Some Sense Live, and really trying to encourage artists to get on board and have a go, get out
definitely.
there, and encouraging the whole collective aspect of Sense Music Media, which is what it was originally based upon. So I think we've got that sort of angle. But as for the podcast, I don't know. I was thinking something I've discussed with Glenn Esmond before, actually,
Yeah.
from the Butterfly Effect, of doing something like, "What's your favorite thing?"
Yeah.
So instead of talking to artists about their music, or just their music, talk to them about what they do outside of music.
Yeah.
Because almost everyone that I know has something that they're a sucker for outside of music. Um, so I think that would be cool. But if you've got any suggestions, anybody, drop us a message.
Hit us up. Let
Um,
us know.
yeah, definitely,
What do you want to
definitely.
see us talk to artists about? Or if you're an artist and you want to have a chat to us, let us know and we will make it happen.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what we do.
Cool. So, is there anything? You had AMR last night?
Yeah,
Um,
so we had Pav joined us actually from right after midnight because they've just dropped their new video, Whiskey Tears. That's pretty cool. So he joined us and there's one of my favorite bands I discovered through AMR was the Witching Hour, actually. I don't know if you've heard of those guys.
I have.
Um they were a band that when I first heard them, I was just like, they're gonna be huge. You know when you just hear a band and you know. And it
Yeah.
wasn't very long after that, I think they were signed to one of the labels through Golden Robot Records. And yeah, it didn't take long to get like Australian known in every state. And they've just released I was really excited because I'd just seen this before. They're gonna be in Sydney actually. So they're doing a tour. 4th of December they start Newcastle. Friday, December 10th, they start in Wollongong. Sunday, 12th of December, they've got Newcastle. Saturday, January 15th, they're in Wollongong. And then Sunday, February, they're in Sydney. So they're a great band. They're kind of like, if you could, almost like Silverchair and Nirvana.
Oh,
They
cool.
are, they are just amazing. And a couple of weeks ago, we got to interview a band at AMR, Alira. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's Alira or yeah, Alira, maybe. They're a Melbourne band. And those guys are pretty much the same. They've got this massive sound and they've just kind of released their first um few songs and they're definitely a Melbourne band to watch. They're I think they start playing live in January. Um so yeah, they were another band I discovered and they reminded me a lot of the Witching Hour because they're so advanced with their sound. It was huge. Melbourne. What else did I see? Oh, they've got the tickets on sale too for Under the Southern Stars as
All
well.
right.
You know about that?
Cool.
That's with Cheap Trick, Bush, Electric Marriott on that bill, Rose Tattoo, um, yeah, Under the Stone Temple Pilots. So that one's going to be a big one.
Radio.
Fluff's come to join me. He's at the door meowing.
Fluff's your cat.
But yeah, and check out the video for Ocean Sleeper, Save Me, Reimagined. And the song, it's really cool.
Very cool. Cool. Well, I've just was putting together an article just before for The Last Martyr. They have just released an album or an EP, I'm not sure exactly, called Purgatory.
Yep.
And from listening to the couple of songs from videos that they've released from that, that's another one of those ones that just kind of blows your socks off with how good the sound is.
Yeah.
Um,
I think each
people,
song they bring out, because I watch a lot of Monica's stuff that she does, and each song it just grows that next level, next level.
yeah,
So
yeah,
Jay had told me that there was some new stuff coming, so that'll be cool to check out.
yeah, that's very cool to check out. Particularly the bass was just something that I was like, wow, that's really, really crispy. Um, and another one was Relica. They've just released a new single called, I'm not sure what it's called exactly. I forget
Yeah,
off the top of my head, but it's awesome. It's only a fairly short, song for a proggy kind of act. Um, it's 3.5 minutes, but it feels like 5. It's just got so much jam packed into it, that yeah, it really impressed me. So I'm
It's a
looking
cool
forward to
track.
seeing.
We
Yeah,
we've also that's on the new episode as well. We were lucky we got that sent in. It
yeah,
is
yeah.
very cool.
It's a very cool song, and they'll be playing at Full Tilt, which is it's only around the corner now. Actually, it starts in January 8th up in Brisbane, and then it hits. I think, uh, yeah, then it hits Adelaide, and then it'll be in Sydney, and then in Melbourne, I believe. So yeah, that's huge. The last show is in Melbourne on the 26th of March, and the first one's on the 8th of January. So keep an eye out. Yeah, I think if you're going to that, you'd already have your tickets because I'm pretty sure that's sold out just about
Yeah.
everyone. Um, yeah, but that's very cool. And the other festivals to be on the lookout for are Uncaged, which is shortly after Full Tilt, or around the same time actually.
Yeah.
And of course, the Seen and Heard Festival up in Newcastle, which has Grinspoon, Regurgitator, Cog, some very cool bands, and we've got Wallapalooza up in on the Gold Coast. That's in when's that happening? 26th February. So it's another fucking cool festival.
Yeah. The January, February is packed. So is
Yeah, I
March.
know it's nuts. I'm trying to get my head around it. What, like, because there's what I'm going to, and then there's what I've got to arrange for people to be going to. In other
Yeah.
states. For
I've got
sense, so it's
friends
very
sending
cool.
me links to buy tickets to these festivals in March now, and I'm like, I'm not even going to be here in March. Um, there's something I think Missy Higgins was on it. I like her.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
seen her.
That's
I
the
seen
the
her open.
Wildflower Festival.
Yeah, and that's in March, and I was like, I'm not going to be here.
So where are you going to be?
We're going to be in the States.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Very
so
cool.
we start playing March the 3rd, and then after that, yeah, we're just working out what's next. Waiting to hear
Mm,
back for some stuff going on in Texas. If that all goes through, then we get to go to Texas after we do the LA shows.
that would
And
be cool.
yeah, we're meeting a band from Texas anyway. Going to come over to Vegas and do a show, and then we were going to head to Texas and play a ton of shows and a festival together. But we're just waiting on this festival. They don't tell us if we've made it or not until the 11th of December, so it's a
Yeah,
bit hard to book the rest of stuff. We've also got some stuff booked in San Francisco,
yeah,
so it's going to be a lot of traveling and backwards and forwards. But we're just waiting on this Texas thing.
yeah. It's always a killer. You find out last minute. It's like
Yeah,
same with media approvals. We kind of don't find out until the last week. Before the actual show. So
yeah,
I've got to I've got to tell people that yeah, I've put you on the list to have access, but I can't give them final confirmation until the last second, and they're like, "Well, should I be buying tickets or not?" And it's like,
yeah. I
don't
know.
know.
I mean, if we don't get on that festival, I think we're gonna have to go there anyway and do some shows with Amber Eye. They're a punk rock kind of band, female
Yeah,
fronted. And yeah, they're really cool. And I think we've known each other now for about 5 years, and we just want to, yeah, catch up and actually do some shows. So I think if we don't, they've applied for the festival as well. So we're all just hanging out to find out whether we're on it or not.
so is
Um,
that a US band?
yeah, they're a Texas band called Amber Eye. They're really cool.
Yeah,
Very punk, very yeah, mostly punk, but she's cool. She reminds me of Chrissy Amphlett. She's electric when you see her live.
yeah.
Amber, she's really cool. So yeah, it'd be cool to do some shows with them. If not, I think we'll just go to Texas anyway and do a run of shows and then head back to LA and then over to San Francisco.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, that sounds awesome. The other
Yeah.
big one, I don't know if we mentioned it last time we had the live stream. It was a couple of weeks ago, but there's the Monolith show that's coming up, and that's with let's see what the names are. because I don't want to leave anyone out.
Can you hear
Carnival.
Puff? Come on, stop meowing. Come and join the video. He wants to go
Yeah,
outside.
totally. Come on camera. So there's Carnival, Cog,
Yep.
Ocean Grove, Pliny, Sleep Makes Waves, Relica, and Yomi Ship. And that's going to be massive. They're all the bands that I love.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's cool. Just when I was starting to think Carnival were never going to come back and do anything. um, yeah, so that's awesome. Looking forward to that one. Yes, and hold on, there's a ton of other stuff that's been going on. All right. Tom, Tom came on last time, a
Yeah.
couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that he was going to be doing an interview with Breaking in a Sequence, or an interview with David Silveria, who's
Yeah. How
the
did that go?
ex-drummer from Korn. That's awesome. He ended up having not just David, but the
Rich
singer
as well.
Rich. Yeah, he came on and they had a chat, and it's a cool little chat. It's a written thing, but have a look through it. It's got some
Yeah, no, I
interesting
read
stuff.
that. It was really cool. I was waiting for that one.
Yeah, and he also did an interview with the Meanies. Um, uh, that was with Link, the singer. Oh wait, not the singer. Um, yeah, with Link Meanie. And they're going to be playing at the Uncaged Festival that I mentioned before.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. They've been around, since the 90s and got lots of stories to tell. So go check that one out. And like I said, The Last Martyr, I'm doing that up. That's a review that Rod Whitfield wrote for their release. And he was very, very, very impressed. So
Yeah.
I want to give it a full listen. That'll be cool.
What's happening with Red Hook? Are they going on tour? Let me check.
I'm
I
not
love
sure.
Red Hook.
Yeah. Mm, okay.
Yeah, they've got the Bring Your Mates tour.
All right.
When does that start? Friday the 28th of January. They're at Max Watts. Friday 4th of February, the Zoo in Brisbane. Then they got Saturday, so they go to Sydney, Adelaide, and Perth. That's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, everything, like you said, it's all a little bit it's just sort of coming from every direction, and
It's overwhelming, isn't
at
it?
the same time. Yeah.
You don't know what to go and watch. You don't know what to buy tickets for because there's so many bands playing at once.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
wonder if there's going to be people that'll just go, "I'll just stay at home and watch it live," and then they can just
Well, I
switch
mean, it's becoming
between.
like that, isn't it? Like I was speaking to 12 Foot Ninjas manager Dave the other day, and he's talking about wanting to get one of their shows filmed that they do in Melbourne in
Yeah,
January, and stream it out to the rest of the world.
yeah.
So kind of like Carnival did with their Decade of Sound Awake show.
Well, there were so
So
many bands that when we were all locked down, or and when we had restrictions but couldn't do live music, but could still go and record things and live stream them from venues and stuff. It was good actually because I got to watch a few on the same day, and I did because I did leave my house. So you were able to watch, more than one concert. So that was good.
yeah,
I
it's
hope
true.
bands shouldn't go live. Don't go live. Don't let people see what you're doing. Get them to come down. Give them a little cheeky preview, but get them to come down.
Yeah, no, it's the live streaming revolution is it's cool, but it's scary at the same time to think that that is becoming such an easy option, not just for the bands but for people. Like I think
Yeah.
I was involved in a sort of conversation. There was a
Tom.
live subtitle. What kind of voodoo is this? Tom's. For anyone that doesn't know, we can see all the comments that people have on Facebook and Instagram, and not Instagram at the moment, but Twitter, YouTube. We see everything coming through, and Tom Wilson, our other journalist, has just said to us, "Live subtitles. What kind of voodoo is this?" So, hey, Tom, how's it going? I don't know if he's saying that he can't actually hear us or something.
No, it actually has the subtitles on our live.
Really?
Yeah, on the page. I just seen it before. I don't know why I didn't mention that, but yeah, it is
Right.
on there.
I wonder if I can change that setting. Maybe next time. That's pretty cool. Carly doesn't get a capital letter. That's rough. Carly actually wrote her own name there. That's her own fault. Um, so yeah. Oh, no, there was something else that. See, I was doing this with Tom the other day. And check this out. Woo!
Oh, yeah, that looks
Very
cool.
cool. Yeah, and this is Tom's one.
Journalist. That's a good
Uh,
one.
yes. So yes, for anyone that doesn't know, I'm Jimmy, obviously, and Carly,
I'm
and
Carly.
we're talk some sense live,
Nothing. I
which
told
is
you about January's filling up, February. Now this one's March that I've just seen.
yep.
Um, so Jimmy Couple shared this one. I'd say he's been King Canyon's on it. So it's Daryl Braithwaite, Vanessa
Ah,
Amorosi.
yeah, yep.
Australian Rock Collective features members of Powderfinger, Spiderbait, Jet, and New MI. The Black Sorrows, Russell Morris, The Bad Love, Starlinghurst, Kings Canyon. So yeah, there's another March thing. Tickets are on sale for now.
Right. Yeah, and there were some new bands that were just announced for the Uncaged Festival, I think you and I are going to be playing. That's one of them. And I'm trying to remember. Everything's running a little bit slower now because I'm running this live stream. Um, yeah, Body Jar, I think, are going to be playing as well.
Yeah.
Um, and the Super Jesus. Oh, they were playing before, actually. Um, but yeah, the Uncaged lineup is just massive because
Yeah, that one's huge.
they're gonna have 3 stages, so there's gonna be a lot of music happening. That'll be a fun one.
Yeah. I'm just having a look. I found something earlier.
Yeah, so like I was saying, 12 Foot Ninja have actually just cancelled their European tour as well for 2022, I believe.
Oh, they have?
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure they did. And they're not going
Yeah.
to be able to go on tour in the US either, so they want to live stream. Or not live stream, but they want to stream a live show,
Yeah.
um, across the globe so that everyone can see them and everyone can get a taste of it. They cancelled the Sydney and Brisbane shows that they were going to be playing already,
Yeah.
because everything was so tumultuous with lockdown. Um, but yeah, that's definitely one to keep an eye on. And with any luck, it'll be Sense Music Media and Moshcam, or the guys that shoot Moshcam, and myself. Um, that'll be putting that together to be able to stream um, to everywhere and anywhere. I mean, it all depends what their budget's like.
Yeah.
Because if they want to be doing something like Carnival did, which was um, a huge budget thing, they probably don't want a whole bunch of mercenaries like myself and the guys from Moshcam all putting something together.
Yeah.
Not that that would be bad at all. I mean, it's always good. Um, but yeah, there's just a lot involved in video production. So, um, what else was I going to say? Yeah, what I was saying about the whole live streaming revolution and of course, where we're at with lockdown and COVID and all that sort of stuff, there was someone that was saying that I forget which band it was, that they've had the lowest numbers of people at their shows like ever.
Oh
Um,
wow.
no one's going out, even though they can go out, they're just not. And I can't tell if that's, I mean, it could be a lot of things. Could
Yeah.
be people getting used to just being at home and just being like, well, no, fuck it, I don't want to go out.
Yeah.
Or people thinking, well, I could just stay home and save my money because that's what we've all had to be doing, and we don't
I
have
had
as much
to,
money
yeah.
to don't have as much money to play with at the moment.
It was great,
Mm,
when we and we did a lot of people got when they first opened up, people were sitting down. So,
yeah,
when we actually went to Bendigo and played, that was when Scarlett had um, the boys' club band together.
yep,
They come all the way from Sydney, and everyone was still sitting down. She was like, "Get up! Like, we're not gonna play if you keep sitting in your chair, like you guys." And they
yeah,
were like, I think everyone was like, "Oh yeah, we can stand up," and everyone got up and started rocking out. But it was just like we literally had to tell people like, "Get up! Like,
yeah.
don't be used to that. Like, let's get back to what we were doing," And
That's right.
especially their show, like when she starts playing the drums, and I'm so excited because Down Girl got some huge shows announced as well for Sydney, and
Yeah,
I've been waiting and waiting, so I'm so excited for that. I think they've got a just check. I think they're playing on a festival as well. So I'm really excited for that.
mm.
Yeah, they're playing on the
Yeah.
Band Aid Festival, which is on the 11th of December from 2 p.m.
Okay,
to midnight.
that's pretty cool.
So that's in Newcastle.
That's very soon. That's only 2 weeks away. Not
Yeah,
even.
so there's are they the people on it? It looks like there's about like six or probably more than that. There's like 20 something bands on this.
That's pretty. That's pretty big.
Yeah. So it must be over a few stages as well. That's
And
very cool.
whereabouts is that? That's in
This is
Newcastle.
at the Family Hotel Newcastle.
All right. I
So
haven't. I haven't been there, so I haven't been anywhere for a really long time. I can't tell what's what anymore.
okay, so it's over two stages. West Best stage and Young Henry stage. Yeah, this looks like it's gonna be massive.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I'm
Cool.
I'm gonna have to come to Sydney. Like all the cool stuff's happening in Sydney. I need to get
I
out
don't
of
know.
Melbourne.
There's cool shit happening everywhere. Like
Yeah.
I keep looking at Melbourne, and I'm like, man, they've got everything happening. Like right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like there's a lot happening in Sydney right now. We've got a few festivals coming up in the new year, but
Yeah.
that's about
Melbourne
it.
was a pretty happening place, man, before COVID. Like I think we really had such a strong scene here in Melbourne, and everyone was coming to Melbourne to join us, and there was just so many shows and so many bands that especially Sydney bands that were coming to Melbourne,
Mm,
um everyone wanted to come to Melbourne. Like it was really, you know, it's a great scene to be a part of in Melbourne.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
got to get it back to
It,
where
sort
it
of-
was.
it, it ebbs and flows in Sydney. I mean, it's been so fucked for the
Yeah.
past 10 years because they put the lockout laws in, and that was for God knows how long. Felt like forever, long enough to make everything just go. Um,
Yeah. Well, that's
and
what I heard
then
the other day. They were locking down like certain airports and international travels again. I was like, "Fuck, not this time. We're
yeah,
not
yeah,
doing this shit again with this
yeah.
new fucking variant." I was like, "Nah, it's not happening. Let's keep
No,
going."
that's right. That's right. No, but when the lockout laws were finally lifted, and that's not lockdown, that's not COVID shit. This is years and years ago because some drunk fucks punched on and killed
Oh
each other.
yeah,
They decided to stop places from being open after uh, made everywhere had to be closed after 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. But
yeah. Well, they did that
they
here as
they
well.
they had lockout after 11 p.m. So if you were in a venue and you walked out of there
That's
um,
it.
after 11, you couldn't go back in. So
Nights
that was
over.
just fucked. And to be fair, that would give enough time, like up to 11 p.m. would give enough time to play live shows and have live
Yeah.
music and stuff. And it did, but what it did was kind of put this mentality on everyone that, we can't go out. There's no point going out. And so people wouldn't. Um, and like I said, just as that lifted, and at the beginning of 2020, they lifted the lockout laws, and um, we thought everything was going to sort of start pumping again, and it kind of was for a very, very short period, because
Yeah.
then, of course, the COVID lockdown happened like within 2 months, and now for 2 years we have been pretty much not having anything going on. So
House arrest. I know
it
what it
feels
feels
like
like.
it feels like a very long time since I really there was a scene that was going on in Sydney. Um, Even though the Sydney scene was awesome. When
Yeah.
things were cranking
I
before.
feel like Sydney's always had a really cool, like, electronic kind of presence around because there's some really cool stuff. Because I've been listening to Triple J forever. I'm a huge fan. So, I mean, since I was uh, 16, 17, it was just like where I went for music, and I just kind of always listened to it. And a lot of the bands, that you heard, or like the electronic music, it was quite huge. They were all from Sydney, whereas
Yeah.
Melbourne was kind of in front with the rock stuff and the metal. But Sydney had this cool thing. They kind of were just like holding on to the electronic music.
Yeah, Sydney had an awesome prog scene too,
Yeah,
about 15, 20 years ago. Well, 15 years ago really is when things were at our straps at that time. But that's when they started Progfest in Sydney, and those shows were just awesome. You'd have,
yeah.
just so many sick bands, and there was a very definitive sort of Sydney prog sound as well.
Talking about prog
Um,
bands, Acolyte. So I think David, he's the keyboard synth player. I think you can vote for him. He's been nominated. What did I see before? And Morgan also for I think like vocalist, or let me have a look because they are amazing.
yeah,
I seen it something before David shared, and I was like, I'm gonna have to go vote. Um, okay, so you can vote for them for the best. They've been nominated for the best album in prog,
okay,
and yeah, David was also nominated for best keyboardist, prog keyboardist, and
very cool,
he is amazing. So
awesome.
if you like your prog, check out Acolyte.
Yep, Acolyte. There's quite a few of them at the moment. Acolyte, Relica, who we mentioned earlier. There's
Yeah,
Voyager. There's all the bands that are, I can't believe I'd saying old school now, but like your Carnivals, your Cog, your Butterfly Effect, all those kind of Dead
yeah,
Letter Circus. They're all proggy influenced, or a very sort of a different kind of sound. Like I was discussing this with Clint when I was having a chat with him, is that the Aussie sound is very different from like the US sound.
yeah,
US is very highly produced and has a very definitive kind of edge to it. And the Aussie stuff, um, not saying it doesn't have an edge, but it's a lot more hard hitting. You know,
yeah,
it's like
yeah. Oh, you can definitely tell.
I think Clint described it like Aussie music is kind of like a sledgehammer, just boom. It's in your
Smashing
face.
it, just throwing
Um,
it down.
yeah, that's it. And like he was talking about the butterfly effect, and how their music was very stripped back, compared to a lot of the US stuff that was
Yeah.
sort of happening.
Oh, there's definitely
Um,
it's with all genres. Like even in the rock stuff, like we hear our finished product here, but then you hear, and it's something I talked to Mark with as well about like their sound. Like it's just so. Some of it's just with especially the rock. I mean,
mm,
it's like the home of rock over there. You know what I mean? So they
yeah,
definitely nail the sound.
Yeah.
And I don't think anywhere else in the world can compete with that. Like that sound, I don't know how they do it. And Mark was like, I know, right? He's like, it doesn't matter where you go or who you work with. They've just got this sound. He's like,
Mm.
I couldn't hear it. And I said to him, the only place I've ever heard that sound was with the Terminal Zero stuff that I heard, which was produced, I think, and recorded with what is his name from Super Heist. And I was like, he's definitely got a great sound, like finished product. He'd be cool to record with. But yeah, it's the same as the Rock, like you're saying with the Prog. There's definitely a different sound there,
Mm.
even though it's
Mm.
the same kind
I
of
think
stuff.
I think it's almost like I feel like the closest that gets to that sound on the Aussie scene is probably 12 Foot Ninja,
Yeah,
because they integrate a lot of other sounds with their music, and they have such control over the sound that's coming out of the guitars. Like Stevic uses Variax guitars, which allows him to basically hit a pedal and it changes the tuning, and it changes the sound
yeah,
completely to different presets that he's worked out. And he's a bit of a magician. He knows how to make noises,
yeah,
very cool ones. um yeah, because I think he was touring, he was into sort of the pop scene early on, like he toured with Delta Goodrem and stuff.
yeah.
And I think he definitely has an ear for how to make things sound. I, I wish I had a better way to articulate it. But you know how you said it's just a sound. It's different,
Yeah.
you know.
DW
And
Nod. That's exactly who it is, man. He's amazing.
mm, mm. And I mean, Forrester Saville, I feel like was the one that came onto the scene in production of Aussie music that kind of lifted it to that level.
Yeah, well, when you see
When
all the
he
bands he
produced,
works with and
yeah,
all the songs he helped bring to life and the
mm,
finished product, you can tell he knows how to get that sound. And it's probably why a lot of those bands he's worked with have gone off and, you know, internationally had a lot of success as well.
yeah, that's right, that's right. So I mean, I don't know. We have a. I think the way that we play as well. I say we as if I'm one of the people that's doing it, but I don't.
You are one of the
Um,
people, Jimmy.
no, no, no. I just sit on the sidelines and take photos and pretend to be important. Um, yeah, but there's there's probably something a little bit different about the the opportunity that we have on that Australians have on a stage to be
Yeah.
able to utilize big big sort of stages and pieces of gear like they do in the US. Like,
Yeah.
because I mean, when you think, if you think an Aussie crowd that's like 5,000 people, right? It's pretty big for an Aussie crowd.
Yeah.
Um, but if you think the equivalent in America is like nearly 10 times that much, you know,
Yeah.
they would have that 5,000 Aussie crowd would be a 50,000 crowd in the US, and that's
Yeah.
fucking huge.
Yeah.
And they're the kind of crowds that they're used to playing to sort of all the time. Um,
Yeah, I know, right? We when I went over there, I think it was like 2016, we got offered to go and play like a really small outdoor festival, right? And we couldn't because we'd finished our run of shows and already had flights back, and Dave was off. I think he went to New York, you know. So we were at the end of the trip, and then we got offered. They said, "Oh," we said, "Look, we can't do it." And they said, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It's only going to be a really small one. There's probably going to be about like 8 or 9,000 people there." And
tiny.
we were like, "Is there any way we can change our flights?" And but it was too. We're like, we would love that because you're talking little. That's huge for an Aussie. But
Yeah.
yeah, so the other two bands we play with, I know Gravity Lane went and played that outdoor festival, and Geraldine actually like was sending me videos. She's like, "I wish you guys were here," and she showed us the crowd because she was so nervous. She gets like me, and she'd done some like videos and showed me. And it was just people everywhere. And I was like, "Oh my god, like that looks amazing."
Yeah.
So we don't get those opportunities every day, but that's something when you're over there, it's all the time happening, these little tiny crowds of just a casual 3,000 to 6,000 people.
Yeah. And I mean the kind of the company that they play with as well is incredible. Like, could you imagine if, I don't know, the other local bands that you're playing with are bands like Incubus and 30 Seconds to Mars
Yeah,
and, those kind of massive international acts. Um,
right.
yeah. I mean, I was watching an interview that Brandon Boyd did with, sorry, I can't remember her name, but from Revolver, an Aussie chick. And uh, he was talking about, their progression of, when they were just a little baby band to sort of,
Yeah, what they are
becoming
now.
more prominent. And they were playing with bands like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and, you know, Pearl Jam and I can't think of all the names right now. It's just too much.
Yeah,
But
but
it's
right, I
just
totally get what you
all
mean.
these bands that were just absolutely fucking massive to us.
Well, I mean, that
Well, to
happens.
everyone.
That It happens, and that's why I encourage Aussies, to get out and travel and go and do stuff. And it's something I really push as well. Like booking a show overseas or somewhere else. It's a lot of bands think they can't do it, but it's exactly like booking a show in your own town. You just
Hmm.
you go to the venue. They'll normally have a detail, and you just shoot them an email. It is that easy. That's all it's all it takes. You don't need to have a manager. You don't need to have a big label. If you want to do these shows, you can just go and do it.
Hmm.
And, so we were playing at the Whiskey, and the booker at the time asked if we could be there on the Friday night, but I don't think we were going to be able to make it. Or we thought, oh, no, we'd probably be too tired to do a show. We actually made it, and the band that we would have played with, we would have opened for, was actually Winger.
All
So we
right.
went and seen Winger, but I mean, that's, can you imagine you just get there and then you find out you're playing with Winger? Like, it was, and I was a big fan. So, we were there and they were seeing 17, and it was just like crazy. And I was just like thinking, imagine if our flight had got in a little bit earlier, like this is who we were going to be playing with. And she's like, see,
Yeah.
this is why I wanted you here a day early. And we're like, yeah, don't tell us about it now.
Yeah.
But it's that easy how, you go from your small shows here to playing with big bands like that. Just
Hmm. Yes. If only we didn't live, a
on the
million
other
miles
side of the
away from
planet.
everyone else. Yeah, I know. We sort of
But
forget
we
how isolated
definitely
we are here.
we've got some pretty cool bands in Australia,
We
and,
do. We do.
some pretty cool venues, and we're starting to, have a lot of history in these buildings, I think, from the newer bands as well, remembering, where they played, before they got huge, and that's really good because you can see that history being made now. For a while, it was all about the bigger Australian bands. That was the only people we could talk about, But there's
Hmm.
new bands now that you hear all the time, which is really good. Like Red Hook, for example, they're one that everybody in Australia pretty much knows now.
Yeah.
And that's great because it was a time where I think we're stuck on, before we had all these platforms, it was only what Australian radio gives you, and they're
Yeah.
only playing the same old thing that we don't want to hear anymore.
That's
Even
right.
now, you hear new stuff and you think like, wow, if only they could be heard. I think, half of the country would love these bands, but they're just not given that platform.
Yeah. That's right. And I mean, then there's people like us, like with Sense Music Media and whatnot, doing our best to sort of get as much content as we can and generate interest and promote bands and that
Yeah,
sort of thing. Um, but yeah, the only thing that's really holding us back is contributors. If we had more contributors, we'd be able to do more. Um,
yeah,
yeah, so if anyone thinks that they have something to offer, whether it's as a writer, as a photographer, as a videographer, whether it's a social media manager, anything like that, and you'd like to contribute to Sense Music Media, and just to clarify, we're a collective sort of platform, so we don't we don't necessarily have specific rules about anything. um, We just really try to encourage the creative professionals and musicians and artists that bring our life color, really. And you want to sort of get that out to the world. So, yeah, anyone that wants to contribute, drop us a line, and we'll see what we can do about teeing some things up. Might be able to get you into a show. We might be able to get you some content, that's pre-released so that you can write a review. Might be able to take some photos for you if you're a musician and get your photos out there. We might be able to write an article or a press release for you.
And all that stuff's very important. Like, you have to have that. Yesterday I was thinking, like a lot of young bands and stuff starting out, and a lot of bands have just got it together. They know what they need to do. But, the bands that know how to write these fucking amazing songs and can pull off, killer live shows, but still need that assistance. We need more people to just share your knowledge. Every time you meet up with a band, just have that conversation about where they're at, or what's next, because they might tell you what they're doing next. And they'll say, but we're not really sure. They confide in you most of the time when you talk to bands, and if you have that knowledge, it could be just one conversation could completely change it for them and help them out. So always make sure if you're a musician and you've done it for a lot longer than other bands that just share some knowledge. It doesn't matter what it is. The tiniest bit, if everyone did that, then we'd all end up with so much more knowledge.
Right. Cool. Well, I think that's a pretty cool little message to leave it on. We want to try and sort of, make our live streams not drag on forever, because people
Cut
do
them
get
off,
bored.
keep them keen.
That's right. But it's
2
been
weeks
awesome to
time,
chat
we're
with
back.
you. I'll try and sort out, how everything's working with this live stream, and get it streaming to Instagram as well. Because what we want to do is basically make 2022 our big launch, where we have Talk Some Sense being, a really big sort of cornerstone piece that everyone, is predictable. Everyone can log into and expect to see on a Wednesday night. We choose Wednesday night because that seems to be the night when people have the most downtime to sort of, check stuff out.
Yeah.
So yeah, and if there are any bands that happen to be watching this, what we look to do is have guests on every single week.
Yeah. And
So
we've had some pretty
Carly and I,
cool ones.
we have already had some
That have
cool
been
ones.
able to share some advice, because that's what we started for, to really help each other and build each other up and just share some knowledge that we're not, we might not know. So we've had Shotgun Mistress Glenn was on here, but he also does radio promotion, and we've had Ash on here, which he helps out bands and putting together a huge festival for next year. And yeah, there's been some really cool ones. So the
Yeah,
artist
we've also had Ezekiel Ox from Mammal.
Yep.
We had Glenn Esmond from the Butterfly Effect. We were going to have Forrester Saville, who said that he still wants to come on in a couple of weeks' time.
We
or
just
a
had to
month's
set all
time
this
or
up.
whatever. Yeah, that's right. We had to get all this going, so that he can do that. But that would be very cool. So keep an eye out. You'll probably notice a couple of names that you're really familiar with, and would be cool to watch, have a chat with us,
Yeah.
kicking back, because that's the best kind of live stream. I reckon, is when people are just having a chat and you get to see the person behind the cloak, and they can give some really cool insights as well. I remember Glenn and Ezekiel were talking giving some really good advice about how they go about their work, and how they've gotten into different avenues that they have. So that's cool. Oh, another band that we had was the Renegades with Dave Blues and Scott and Doug.
Yeah.
They came on and had a chat with us, and that was heaps of fun. So yeah, always a blast. But yeah,
it is.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Carly, and for everyone out there who's watching or not watching.
Or who will watch it later. Thank you for checking this out.
Yes, definitely. But we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and of course YouTube. We've got Spotify as well, and we might start releasing our podcasts through Spotify. So yeah, we're everywhere, and obviously sensemusicmedia.com, where you can check out all the latest news, reviews, interviews, photos, videos, and keep up to date with what's going on. And there's some retrospective stuff about old shit and what people are thinking of that at the moment. So yeah, check it out. All
All
right.
right. We'll catch you next week.
All right. Cheers, Carly. See
See
ya.
ya.